Hello students, from today we are starting with class 9 science chapter 5 fundamental unit of life. This lesson is from biology section. Okay, in this lesson we will learn about what are living organisms made up of and what is a cell made up of. What is the structural organization of cell, in which we will see plasma membrane or cell membrane, cell wall, nucleus, cytoplasm and cell organelles. In cell organelles we will see endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, mitochondria, plastids and vacuoles. Okay, you have already learnt a little bit about cells, which are the basic functional unit of a living body. Okay, on the particular topic only we will learn a little bit in detail. Okay, let us start with the first unit of the lesson. What are living organisms made up of? We know that living organisms are made up of cells. What is a cell? It is the structural and functional unit of a life. It is also termed as the structural unit of life because it provides structure to our body. Okay, cell is considered as the functional unit because all the functions of the body take place at cellular level only. Okay, we know that cell comprises tissues together will form the organ will combine to form the organ system, and this organ system will perform the various functions which are essential for a living body, right? So in all these things, whatever functions are done, that is happening at the cellular level first. Okay, then followed by tissues, organs and organ system. Fine. Who did the discovery of cell? So it was done by Robert Hooke in the year 1665, and Robert Brown in 1831 discovered the nucleus in the cell. Right? Nucleus means it is the command house. Fine. Next, cell theory. What is the meaning of cell theory? It states that all living organisms are composed of cells. Cell is the fundamental unit of life, and all new cells come from pre-existing cells. So this is all about the introduction of the lesson. Okay, and whatever is important terms or definition you feel like, the name of the scientist, year and everything, you have to learn it, write it for 3 times in the tuition book also. Okay, it can be asked for 1 mark question or MCQs also. Fine. Next, types of organisms on the basis of number of cells. If only one cell is there, it is considered as the unicellular organism, and if more than one, then it is multicellular organism, right? These two terms you are already aware about, that is unicellular and multicellular. Fine. There are two kinds of organisms on the basis of cells. Unicellular organisms are those organisms that are made up of single cell and may constitute a whole organism. They are known as unicellular organisms. For example, amoeba, paramecium, bacteria, etc. Right? Single cell. Right? This single cell will comprise the entire body, and that single cell will only carry out the required biological processes in that particular organism. Okay, so let us move to the next. Multicellular organism. The organisms which are composed of a collection of cells, that is more than one cell, right, that assume function in a coordinated manner. Coordinated manner means they are connected with each other, right, with different cells specialized to perform particular tasks in the body, are named as multicellular organisms. Example, plants, human beings, animals, etc. Now in multicellular or also there are two groups, that is not given in your book, but this is only for your reference, that two groups are there in this multicellular organisms also, that is the organisms which are having the simple body structures, right, and the other group of organisms are having multicells only but with the complex body design, that is we are having specialized tissues, specialized cells, organs, organ system to carry out the particular function, right. Now here one word is used, that is coordinated manner. If just take an example of respiratory system, we are breathing through our nostrils, that air is entering the windpipe, followed by entering the lungs and so on, right, and from lungs the oxygen which is inhaled, that will be transported to each and every cells in the body. Now here the coordination is there. Now if anything goes wrong, likewise some problem is found in lungs, or if something some infection has been noticed in your blood or so on, right, so in that case that entire channel, that entire chain is broken, and in that case your body will be affected. Understood with this? Okay, let us move further. Shape and size of the cells. Cells vary in shape and size. They may be oval, spherical, rectangular, spindle shaped, or totally irregular like the nerve cell. Okay, so the shape of the cells will be varying as per the body structure, that is the organ system, organ tissues and all, right. So depending on that, the shape and size of the cells will be varying. We know that neuron, that is nerve cell, it is the biggest cell, biggest human cell, right. The size of cell also varies in different organisms. Most of the cells are microscopic in size like RBCs, while some cells are fairly large like nerve cells. Just now I told you that nerve cell is the biggest cell in a human body, and microscopic cells means if you try to observe the cell which are present in on your skin, in your palm, will you be able to see them? No, that is not possible because most of the cells are microscopic in size. If somebody is bleeding, right, so you won't be able to find that, oh, that is RBC, oh, this is WBC, oh, that is platelet and all, right. So they are microscopic in size. Fine. Now on the basis of this, there are two types of cells. They are prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. You must have heard these words also. Prokaryotic cells are cells in which true nucleus is absent. They are primitive. Primitive means very, primary and incomplete cells. Prokaryotes are always unicellular organisms. For example, archaebacteria, bacteria, blue-green alga, they are all prokaryotes. They are the primitive. Okay, if suppose you have brought one pencil pouch, right, that pencil pouch is having some sections. Now usually we have one compartment in all the pencil pouch, so that is called the primitive structure, right, that is the basic. Primitive means it is the basic, it is the perfect word, basic, right. Next is eukaryotic cell. They are the cells in which true nucleus is present. They are advanced and complete cells. Eukaryotes include all living organisms, both unicellular and multicellular organisms, except bacteria and blue-green alga. Okay, so eukaryotic cells, they are quite advanced. Advanced means with so many compartments, sorry, right. Are you getting my point? So this is the basic difference between eukaryotic and prokaryotic cell. Here I have given you the differences. You have to write this table in your tuition book for 5 times. You have to learn it. This is extremely important. Okay. From this table itself, you will be able to write down the characteristics of a prokaryotic cell also, as well as eukaryotic cell. So if it is asked that write the differences, then also you will have to write this. Write the characteristics, then also you will write down this only. Okay. So please go through it and write it down in your tuition book for 5 times. Okay, the previous definitions you will write for 3 times only. Am I clear? Now this cell, I think diagrams are already done if I am not wrong, and if it is not done, you have to learn how to draw these diagrams. This is the prokaryotic cell, draw it for 5 times. This is the eukaryotic cell, okay. This is the animal cell, okay. So all these 3 diagrams, the previous slide was of a plant cell and this is the diagram of an animal cell, okay. About this we will discuss in detail in the next session. For this you have to write down all the definitions for 3 times. Please learn it. Write the points of differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic for 5 times. It is extremely important, and all the 3 diagrams also for 5 times, okay. I think animal cell and plant cell you have already done in the previous standard also, so it is going to be easier for you. Make sure that you refer to the textbook also, okay. I have tried to give you the easiest diagram so that it becomes easier for you, okay. Otherwise you can draw any kind of diagrams whichever is easy for you. Fine. So that's all for today. Thank you. Have a good day.